This is a recurring, now a weekly event happening every week on Wednesday at the same time. A recording is going to be sent to you. So those of you that registered and couldn't arrive are going to receive a recording. Weekly event, I should change this. So this is Wednesday, 5 p.m. London time, same time every time. If you want to join again, you have to register again, because we're not sending emails for people who register for previous pitching events, which means that if you want to join, you have to register. pitching.startuplink.com. The goal is to help you improve your pitch, basically with a collective brain. You have a collective brain here. Dozens of people are here now, and we as founders, we do not receive enough feedback. This is a really unique opportunity for people who are trying to help you and are giving you feedback. So I would totally take the opportunity. If you have something to pitch, you can even pitch freestyle. Definitely, we've seen people that have been here that totally changed their business and rephrase not only their pitch, but also their business. So very interesting stuff happened here, very interesting connections as well. This is going to be interactive, which means that we are here not to listen. Those of us, the majority of us, we're not pitching. We're here to actually give feedback. So we're counting on your feedback. Your feedback is always extremely valuable. In startups in general, there is no common wisdom, a big mentor that's going to tell us how to do things. It's all about a lot of ideas, and the founder is going to take whatever is relevant for her or him. There's going to be a 4 minutes limit. The idea over here is that less is more. Basically an elevator pitch to whatever you want to pitch to. You're practicing to pitching to investors, to a client, to get feedback. You're not supposed to totally close all the knots here. You just want to pitch in a level that people are going to tell you, whoa, that's interesting. I want to know more. Come for a meeting of half an hour, 1 hour. I'm going to allow to ask one question in the end of each pitch. You can choose, for example, the two questions that we usually allow are, was it clear that people understand? Or is there a real pain that it seems like your product or service is solving? And then basically we're just jumping to your feedback. So I'm here to read basically your suggestions to the people that are pitching. I will say something important. There is no time or need to reply to the feedback that you receive. So the idea is that you're not here on trial. You don't have to defend yourself after the pitch. The entire idea is for people to try to help you how to improve your pitch, maybe a little bit your business as well. So, just write down whatever you need to write down. Hopefully then the next one is going to be better. One of you is going to be featured to the Startup Link newsletter and in social media. The newsletter is going out to more than 50,000 people. So it's a nice traction bonus. But definitely now, are we going to decide who is going to be this person? Stay to the end. We're going to do a vote in a democratic way and kind of see who is the project that most excited you connected to. And basically it. My name is Eli David. I'm the CEO of Startup Link. Let me see if we have Madhav, you're repitching. Okay, currently there is room, so you can repitch unless someone else volunteers to pitch. Anatoly, you're going first. Madhav, you're going second. We still need a third person, so you can also go freestyle as long as you have something, some clarity on what you do. And yeah, just before we start, we have only 2 pitches today. Apparently, hopefully, maybe there's going to be more. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our own business, about Startup Link, and share a few links with you that help us basically sustain this project. So let me quickly go over. Can you see my screen, by the way, now? Can you see the map? Let me know in the chat, please. I'm going to look in the chat. I don't remember if I shared an application or the entire... yes, super. Okay, so what you see here is a global startup ecosystem. I'm going to practice even less than 4 minutes. I'm here to practice my pitch. That's basically the only goal I'm here. We're building a global startup ecosystem app called Startup Link. It's totally free to register your startup. The interesting thing for you in Startup Link when coronavirus ends is that we can travel again and relocate. And what we've built for you is basically a ranking board that allows you to see the ranking, the startup ecosystem rankings of 1,000 cities, 100 countries. It's all for free. What we advise you to do, I know, for example, that we have a lot of people here from, let's say, even if you're from Argentina, we're not going to do the obvious one. We allow you to filter by cities and countries and figure out where should you relocate for. So for example, if you're in Argentina, the best place would be Buenos Aires, then Cordoba, then Mendoza, then Rosario. And the idea is I just want to let you know that picking the right place for your to start a startup is critical. That's where you have investors. But even if you don't care about investors and you're like me, that's where you find great co-founders. That's where you find great team members. That's when you get high quality knowledge. So the idea is that some of you are really in good places. I think Khadija is in London, Madhaf is in Munich, and we have a few other guys in Munich. I think Munich is ranked around 30 something. So the idea is that you kind of want to try to be in the top 50 if you can. And if you can't, at least, let's say if you're in the Baltic region, then at least find the best option, let's say, in the Baltics. So for example, you can click here the Baltics, and then basically you can see that you should probably go to Tallinn, and then after that to Vilnius. And then if you have to be somewhere, it should be probably or Riga or Kaunas. So the idea is just make sure that you're in the right place. That's basically the idea of Startup Link, and that's how we think it can be helpful, making a decision of where you stay. I'll just say that we also launched another project, which is coronavirus.startuplink.com. This is specifically for projects that are dealing with COVID-19. There are more than 600 innovations on the map currently. It's free to register as well. It's great for seeing who is working on what, on categories like prevention, diagnostic, treatment, and so on. And this one is built actually together with the Health Innovation Exchange from the UNAIDS organization. So kind of like, and over here, by the way, we did also ranking to see what are the cities that are most innovating in COVID-19. You would see the obvious ones, but also some very surprising cities like Milan and Zurich and Moscow and Taipei. So it's really interesting to see what are the cities that are most active, the private sectors that are most active in creating innovations. That's basically a little bit about ourselves. I'll just share, no, I think we can start. So basically we still have 2 people that are pitching. Yes, we do. No third volunteer. Okay, so let me throw a few links at you until someone wakes up. This is how we sustain the event. I'm going to share a few links with you over here. I'll go over them quickly, and then basically Anatoly, you're pitching in 1 minute, and Madhaf, you're pitching after Anatoly. And if there is, again, a third person, feel free. What I shared with you here, startuplink.com, that's the link to the map. If you register on the map, you're also going to help your city and country in the next ranking coming next May. So in about a month, so that's great. We have a Telegram channel. You're free to join it. That's the second link. The third link is pitching.startuplink.com. If you want to be here next week, go there. A few partner deals that allow us to sustain the pitching event. This is how we sustain it, because some of you are buying those things, which gives us affiliate money, and then we can continue running those events. I'll let you know what we have over here. The first link that you see is SEM Rush Traffic Research. This is the best, as far as I'm concerned, resource to research keywords and to research market analysis. Absolutely a great program, and they allow us to give you 14 days for free and 1 model for free for a year. This is a secret deal. You can have it there in the link there. The second one is Bluehost. Bluehost is a hosting service that we're using. Great service as well. The third one is Upstuff. This is how we manage our entire team. If you have a team, you want to know where the time is flowing and plan your budget. Upstuff is absolutely great for managing your budget. The fourth one is Olark. Olark is basically the chat widget that you see on Startup Link. They're also giving you a discount, and they're great. And the last one is Unbounce. Unbounce is how we built all the landing page of Startup Link without knowing how to code, including the pitching event one. And that's basically it. Good. So we still have only 2 people pitching, so it should be a relatively short event. Anatoly, you're going first with Pact, so I'm going to quickly promote you to a pitcher. Just a second. Yes. Let's see if it works.
Hey guys, can Can you hear
Hey, we can hear you. You have video?
me? I don't know. It doesn't work for some reason. I'll
Sure.
just share the screen then.
Okay, okay. Share the screen. But what I recommend always, because it's a little bit of a virtual meeting, to try to. Okay, but let me see. Yeah, I see that your camera is not appearing. Cool, but sharing your screen is good. You have a share screen button, a green share screen button somewhere. I'll confirm when we can see your screen. Where are you calling from, by the way?
From Toronto. Hey guys.
Ah, very cool, very cool. Okay, I'll let you know when we can see your screen.
Where exactly?
It's a green button somewhere at the footer that says share screen.
To be honest, I'm not sure if I have the right.
The right zoom?
Yeah, well, it's not showing. It's just maybe there's another type of allowance that you could give me.
No, you're at the highest level. But let me check. Yeah, actually, you might be right. Let me have a quick look. Just a second. Just a second. You are probably right. And then maybe the camera was going to work again. Let me check for a second. Oh,
Okay,
now it's better.
you
And we
see?
can also see
Yeah,
it.
it's
Wow,
because
now.
of the allowances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's great. Super. So sorry for that.
No, not a
Excellent. You
problem.
should see it
Once.
now.
Okay, share. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Hi
Super.
guys, nice
So
to see
go
you.
for it.
Yeah, I kind of checked my video, but so I was a little bit disappointed
No,
that
no,
my video
you're
didn't turn
all ready. Go for it.
Okay, hello guys. My name is Anatoly, and I'm a co-founder at Pact, an agreement setup platform. So there's a huge problem on the market now that business people can have optimized faster communication related to agreements because email is slow and inefficient, and chat apps like WhatsApp are private, not private anymore actually. They're legally risky, they're missing key features. So technically, that's not very suitable for you. Have you ever had a question like if you are dealing with a person and you haven't met him and you're not sure who you're dealing with actually, and you're still emailing with him, or if your partners and counterparties have ever deleted their messages, said they haven't received your email, or whatever. So there's a huge pain, and I made it a formula, and it's email, contract documents, signature tools, banking apps, CRM, invoicing. You bundle that all together, spend a huge amount of time, huge amount of money, and then it kind of works. So for that reason, we've created Pact. It's a platform which combines verified digital ID, blockchain, encrypted chat capabilities, QR payments, legal know-how, all to set up your agreement. Don't think of it as anything else on the market. It's easy to use, new, legally powerful, and we've connected all of the dots for you. All on one platform, ready to use. We use a disruptive technology mix, and it's a combination of digital ID, so you know who you're dealing with, blockchain, so your yes is not turned into a no, and an extractable chat, so you could prove that you actually had an agreement. What the big guys say about our neighbors, the contract management platforms, is that up to 12% of your overall cost as a large company you could spend on contract management. It's huge. And those companies that automate those processes, they could save up to 20 to 50% of that cost. Moreover, they have almost 20% faster business cycle from negotiation to signing. Think about the small guys and the medium-sized guys, how much time they spend. So that's why we want to target frequent deal makers, those who have more than 5 deals, founding startups, small businesses, which consist of, our economies consist mostly of them. And there's more than 20 million IT-focused freelancers that act as sole proprietors almost, that we want to target with this tool as well. We have a working prototype. It looks like a chat environment, but it's more powerful. We have a serious team. We have 3 founders, a lawyer, me, the talking guy, the business guy, and the technical. And we have a growing network of mentors and advisors. We also were accepted to Queen's and Western University Business Law Clinic, so they're helping us for free with our legal stuff. The students and their professors check it. Also, we are currently validating, getting all of the feedback from everyone. That's why we're pitching, to ensure that we deliver the proper value. We want to monetize this having a subscription model. It'll be a freemium, so you have something for free, and then if you want to tier up, you pay $5 to $10 per month. Moreover, we want to monetize on corporate solutions and robotic process automation, commissions, and automation like chatbots. This is our unique landscape of competition, and I'm pretty sure you haven't seen a chart like this. So we've formulated different companies based on how easy it is to use it and how ready is it for business communication and like agreement setup. What we see that there are some pieces and bits that match, but nothing that has a full 100% 360 experience and easy to use. I'm not sure which type of pitching event this is, if it's investors or if it's more customers. So I thought of going something 50-50. And we are looking for around $500,000 USD to make the growth sustainable and deliver a pleasant business experience. And we've divided that into 3 stages, step by step, from the minimum sellable product to the, updating it and providing a cross-platform solution, and then a full cycle experience. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a few other slides in the annex, so if there's no one pitching third, I could show a few more interesting slides. Just tell me, and I'm ready for your questions.
One more. You have 30 more seconds, so pick the one
Okay.
you like the most.
Okay. So I like the 2, so I'll share 15 seconds to each. Except for standard contracting, you could also store regulated communications like KYC, DDML. You could host government to citizen communication. You could use it for something unusual like selling products in VR, AR games, but being identified and it being legally binding. We would have interesting features like QR payments inside of the chat app, just like WeChat had. Permissions, labels to automate your communication, themes inside, and an interesting concept called predefined legal environments, which is you apply an NDA on a group chat and it automatically covers it.
Super. Okay. Congrats, Anatoly. That's great. We have good friends in Kingston. We're working with the Kingston Economic Development Corporate in Queens.
Okay.
So if you ever need connections there, let us know. No, that's super great. So yeah, let's quickly. So Anatoly, if I understand correctly, you guys are basically are looking for investors. That's the main focus now, right?
Well, we can go 2 routes. We can sell this as a custom solution to a corporate, for example, like a bank or an insurance company that has a lot of external communication. And we could onboard them as a first customer, do a pilot program, and have some funding to keep this going. Or alternatively, get an investment to more target like individual customers, business users.
Now, if you want to ask something, so first of all, I'm going to ask everyone in the listeners here. We have over 40 now, which is great. Thanks everyone for arriving and wanting to help. Let Anatoly know how can the pitch be better. He's going to go for serious guys, for investors, for corporate partnerships or corporate clients and so on, B2B clients. He has to be ready. So anything you can give him feedback on the pitch, mostly on the pitch, also on the business. If something was unclear, please do in the chat, by the way, in the chat, so everyone can see it, and we're going to read it out loud in a second. Now, Anatoly, if you could pick one of 2 questions. One, was it clear? And the second is there real pain to the product that you're trying to launch? What would you choose? I can quickly share it with the crowd and get a little bit of a collective brain answer. What do you prefer?
Well, the clarity part is important, but I feel that we're working on it. So I'm more curious about the actual value delivering, and if people could resemble and see that, yes, for me, I have this problem, this is a pain, and there is a lot of stuff that's going on. I'm just scanning my document, signing it by hand, and sending it back through an email. Isn't there something easier? That will be helpful.
Makes sense. So we're launching a poll now. Is there real pain? Did you understand how Anatoly's product might solve a pain that currently exists? So we have basically absolutely yes. Are you kidding me? Or so, not so clear, and not really, which is basically no. So we'll wait for your results. This is going to be very helpful for Anatoly to kind of, so if everyone can give an answer here, we're going to wait about 10 more seconds to kind of figure out if this is something that creates real pain that you feel like this could solve.
While the
Uh,
folks are voting, there was a few questions I see in the
Yeah,
Q&A.
we'll get to them. No worries, no worries. It's all
Gotcha.
in time. Great. So I think that everyone voted. So let's share.
All right.
We're just going to share the result. So Antonio, you seem to have a quick problem here. Apparently, 60%, the vast majority, and plus if you had the 15%, did not really understand why they need it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is something that probably has to do either with they don't need it, which is a problem, or more likely than not, the message of basically explaining to the people that you target, look, this is important for you and you should use it because currently the situation is not good because XYZ. Apparently, they're not convinced. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a problem here. I don't know how to solve it, but just for you to know, it's good to know that you have this. And good, and now let's turn to the chat. We don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to read a few comments out loud. And tell you what I suggest, like always, is write to yourself all the notes. So
Mm-hmm.
when you go to the investors and so on, you're much more prepared. So let's have a quick look. Madhav is saying that this is interesting. Nigar is asking how this product is different than CPQ. What are the new features that it brings to the table? Again, everyone is interested more than anything about differentiation. Why is this so special? So apparently it was a little bit missing here for some people.
What's CPQ? If I could ask Nigar to
Oh
spell
yeah,
that.
Nigar, if you can maybe send
I'm,
us a link, that would be really
yeah,
great.
thank you so much.
Cool. Cool. So let's have a look at what Aether is saying. That Aether is saying that automatic NDA is a really nice feature. Recommend having a slide showing how this might work because that's the deal maker. So I think Aether knows a lot more than me on this topic. So just take the feedback if you think that it's relevant. Again, is recommending an automatic NDA slide. Mark is asking what's your contact details, so you can write in the chat. Yeah.
I'll share my
Yeah.
email and LinkedIn.
And Aether is also mentioning two other probably competitor, a low sign and doc sign, and I'm using the one from Adobe, for example. So honestly, there was a problem here because they're relatively quick, like they're not such a headache. So I feel like Anatoly, you can do a little bit of a better work to understand why should I, as a relatively small business,
Mhm.
not go in an Adobe solution for $15 a month and go on something that is critical like contracts and go on something like that. So I feel like over here, this is something that you should probably work on. Herman is saying that for some moments he got a little bit lost. Maybe it's because he's not really in the topic, but Hermanis does mention something that is interesting, which is, look, you're going to go to investors, and they are mostly not technical. They like business opportunities.
Mhm.
So you have to make sure that, like Herman is saying, less buzzwords and more, look, this is why the problem exists. This is why it's so interesting, and to go a little bit less technical so you don't lose the crowd. Wow, we have so much feedback. This is really great. Yeah, I would totally copy paste this Anatoly for later. You can really go to the team and Chris is saying that this is a big product for a small company. Let me see. Yeah, so he's saying that this is a big product from a small company. You mentioned getting traction with one or two private corporate clients, which I think is the way to go. So Chris is basically recommending you from his experience, probably do not go on the B2C, try to go full speed on the corporate and probably only then go for investors because investors are crazy about traction.
Mhm.
Fabian is sharing something that I honestly also saw this. Your first slide had too much information. I saw the first slide, I was like, oh no. And I have the same problem, by the way. And totally, if you see my slide, you've seen my slides when I
Yep.
presented. They're packed with text because I need to make sure that everyone knows everything that I do. But it sucks. I still do it. Yeah, you can do what I do and just ignore it when everyone is screaming, "Hey, it's too much text. We can't digest this." Or you can be smart. I suggest you don't be like me. I'm doing it for years already. It doesn't work. People do not like to see slides with a lot of text. It drives them crazy. So definitely
That's actually really fresh. We had a little bit of a different slide deck, and I was going through like a really interesting positioning book recently, and I was kind of reformulating what we are, because before I was pitching it more as a chat app for business, which wouldn't deliver and wouldn't differentiate the product enough. And we are creating a new market category. So as to a lot of questions like, oh, what's the difference between email, or let's say like all of those Adobe and DocuSigns, is that those are parts, those are pieces of your agreement process, and you have to connect a lot of them to have the full experience. So from negotiation, you need to negotiate somewhere over the phone, over the email. Then you need to connect that DocuSign. Then you need to connect your CRM tool. Then you need to send an invoice there. Then you need to somehow pay and send them the scan or a photo of an invoice. And that's a lot of systems. And we offer like $10, let's say, per month, which is already cheaper than DocuSign, still offering the signature part, and then much more. So that's why there's a lot of problem, and I'm like lost in what I'm actually
but like Chris said, it seems like a very big problem to solve for such a small company, because now the major convention, even for top quality unicorns, focus on a small niche, focus on something small, be the best in the world in a specific thing. So I will tell you that I try to go for investors. Many of them, when you tell them, look, I have a one-stop shop that does absolutely everything, they're not so much into it. So, when the slide looks like this, they're saying, look, what is the chance that Anatoly from Toronto can actually create a situation that you cover all my business needs? So that's something that you're probably going to get from investors. And Fabian is also saying, look, if you're pitching to investors, focus more on the figures. They care more than anything on the return on investment. So maybe it was missing a little bit. What is the size of the market and so on, and what do we anticipate? You don't need to do a business plan, a cash flow or whatever, but something kind of to tell us, look, this is the opportunity Adobe is doing on this every year, X, Y, Z. Richard is saying something that keeps on repeating. It doesn't matter what the solution is. Richard is mentioning DigiSign, but you have a question here that keeps on repeating. How is this going to improve my situation if I have Adobe, if I have DigiSign, if I have whatever? And this was not that clear, or people were not convinced. So we have a little bit of a problem there. A good start, but a problem. So, wow, you have so many other comments. It's mind-boggling. So what I suggest to do is to copy-paste and copy-paste all of them. And then, just go to the team. By the way, they didn't mention who is the team and so on. That would be interesting also to hear for the investors and so on. And the idea is, yeah, you have a few things here. You need a second probably version, but this is very promising. So super.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks,
really
Anatoly.
Valuable. I would take everything into consideration. Would gather. Yeah.
Super.
Thank you.
We're happy to help, and keep up the great work.
You too, guys, as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Super. Great. So we're moving to our second pitch of today is going to be. Wait, do we have someone before? Because Madhav already did a pitch. Do we have someone else that is interested to pitch? Let's see. I think we're okay. Madhav, you're going next, and you're going to be the second one and the last one, probably. By the way, if you saw, Anatoly was here. We gave him some tough love, but it was good. Like, he got a lot of benefit from it. I really recommend, if someone has not pitched in the past, you can go after Madhav. We can do freestyle as well. You're going to get a lot of feedback. This is really something that feedback from 40 people is not something easy to get anywhere, probably impossible. So yeah, take the opportunity. Okay, Madhav, I'm promoting you to and thanks everyone for all the feedback. Anatoly has now basically copy-pasted all of it, and he's gonna work on everything that you wrote, everything, also the things that we didn't have the time to go over. So thanks everyone. Good, Madhav, how are you? Can you hear us? Can't hear you yet. Need to unmute, and you can put video as well somewhere. You have an unmute option.
Yes. Can you guys hear me now?
We can. You have a camera?
Yes, it should be there.
Let me see. Can't see you yet, but I'll tell you.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I can see you. So, Munich, right, Madhav?
Yes, I'm from Munich.
Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome again. Great, super. Next Gen API. When were you here? How long ago?
I think it was in January, somewhere in January.
Ah, wow. Before the world changed, when we were all
Yes.
happy and planning our next vacation. Okay, that's
Yes.
good. So let's see if your presentation
Yeah.
changed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Super. So good luck. Have a good one. You have 4 minutes.
Hi. Hello, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining, first of all. Last time I had a different perspective, and now the perspective is a little different. That's why I would like to pitch again. Basically, let me start presenting my slides, and then we can. So yeah. So what we are trying to address. Imagine that you have a new app you are developing, and you want to use all the latest features available in the market, and you don't have proper resources or proper development team. Then how do you achieve the target that you want latest features in your app? So wouldn't that be that great if you have already developed solution and already hosted service for you to use it to start with? For example, if you're a startup, you want to build MVP with the new features, you don't have to spend 6 months to develop your product, but you can use off-the-shelf services, APIs, and build your MVP. So that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to help the startups or small teams, and not to reinvent the wheel, trying to develop the same thing again and again. So how it works? So we have different developers, individual developers, and on the right side you can see mobile apps, web applications, and products, and all of these both get connected with the Next-Gen API platform. And developers develop the solutions, and the applications or web applications or the products, they use the APIs. So developers do what they do best, innovate and develop cutting edge APIs, and we host them and manage the APIs. So where we are with respect to the development of this idea, we are ready to host the first API. And also we have the expertise to review the developers' work and host it somewhere, and be able to provide it as a service to many consumers, let's say the applications, apps, or web apps. So that's the platform is there, the expertise is there, and what we need now is we need ideas from the developers. These are the APIs which might be useful for new apps which are coming, web applications which are coming, products which are coming. This can be any innovative ideas, whatever we have, machine learning, artificial intelligence ideas. They need to put them in the form of an API and provide them through our platform, let's say. And we support them, host and manage the API. So about the financials, developers, of course, who are developing the APIs doesn't have to pay anything, and apps, web applications, and products which would be using these APIs also don't need to pay anything. It's for the fair usage. Fair usage means if you have an app sending 1 request per minute or 10 requests per minute, it's okay. But if you have 10,000 requests per minute, then obviously it's not a fair usage, and that's not easy to provide. So those cases we are not
1
talking
minute,
about.
so make the best out of it.
Yeah, thank you. And so the hosting and API management, we will bear the cost. And who we are the developers and DevOps specialists, architects, etc. And we love working in development and providing the APIs. And what we want to achieve is the API ecosystem is developed in such a way that latest developments in the technology and trends are exposed as an API. And this ultimately help the apps to be trendy and snappy. So that's what our target is. And we have taken one Python-based Google TensorFlow machine learning problem, let's say, or the solution, and which is basically what it does is it takes an image and predicts what is the proper caption for this one. And for this, to do this one, you need to have the Python and the Python-based learning and development and host. You need to serve it somewhere, and you need to manage the service, and which is going to take at least a couple of months and a couple of €1,000. And what we offer is this is a standard problem which many people want to have a solution for, and we develop it through the help of developers and host it as a REST API, which is a simple call. And that would tell you proper caption once you give an image as an input. Again, we are very happy to hear from the developers. If you have new ideas, innovative ideas, we are happy to work with you and make it as an API so that the application apps can benefit from them. And we would like to create super trendy APIs and for the snappy apps, let's say. And that's all. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Madhav, if you understand correctly, you're currently pitching to developers. You're not into investors or whatever. Currently, the pitch
developers as well as small businesses who are looking for some standard solution as an API. They don't have to invent the wheel again, so that for example, like I said, if you have an image caption problem, and we can provide that as an API. If you, for example, address search, we can provide that an API. So the small business and developers doesn't have to redo the same stuff again and again.
Okay, so let's speak a question. Do you want to ask, was it clear or was the pain clear? What do you prefer to ask if you would have to pick
sorry, is
was the presentation clear? That's the first option.
Yes.
Or is there real pain in that you're solving? What would be better?
Is the presentation clear? That is more
okay.
important.
So let's ask everyone if the presentation is clear. I'm launching the poll. Did you get Madhav? Did you understand clearly the product? Was it crystal clear? Did you get it? I will say this is a presentation for developers, so we have to take this into account as well. But let's see what are the answers. I'm going to allow about 10 more seconds. Let's give Madhav as much feedback as possible via the poll, and of course on the chat. What did you think? What can Madhav improve? Now he's going to pitch to developers day after day, trying to make the best out of it. What do you think can be improved here? How can this be more convincing, better, whatever comes to mind? So first of all, we're going to share the poll. And Madhav, over here, you have a problem. You have a vast majority that says not clear. However, I want to tell you something. Most of the people here are not developers, so we have to be also very careful about this because you're pitching to developers, you know your crowd. However, there is still a majority, let's say 33% plus 58%, I don't know how much it is, but it's a lot, it's 92%, that said, look, we didn't really got it. So there is something that if it's important for you to approach the general crowd and not only developers, that's great. And let me ask you, I'm going to do another relaunch of the polling, please, for everyone. Yeah. Now I want only those who are into development, understand this world, to answer again, please. So only those who are interested in development, know about development. Was it clear for you? You're the most important people for us to understand if Madhav has a problem currently or not. So I'm going to relaunch and we're going to give, wow, we have a lot of developers here. People know development. That's great. The others don't answer, please. If you don't know development like me, forget it. Don't answer this one. Excellent. So we have a lot less people answering this, but Madhav, you still have a problem. You still have 92%, the same percent that are saying, look, this is not so clear. So apparently, Madhav, you're not that ready for selling yet. I don't know how to help you, but I'm hoping someone in the chat does, because I don't understand really development. But you have a little bit of a messaging issue here that you need to work on. Again, I don't really know what to do here because it's not really my world. But let's try to go to the chat, to the real experts here, and try to figure out if someone has a feedback that will be valuable for us. So I'm pretty sure all the feedback is valuable. Yes, so let's start with Vijay. Vijay is basically saying, okay, no, I think it's yeah. Vijay, I'm not sure if this is for this lecture or the other, so I'm gonna yeah, AFIR was not that clear on what is the business model. Is it per use spaces and so on? So it's not so critical, but basically if you are pitching to developers, this has to be a little bit probably clear. I don't know. Herman is saying here what he said the last time, and he's always right. When he's gonna say that, he's always gonna be right. Too much text. So Madhav, the problem is that when you give us so much information, you blast us with information, we're lost. This is something that is universal. So the idea is, how do you make this thing be a lot shorter, that in only 20% of the pitch, you can actually explain so much instead of going, and again, most of us have the same problem with the text. How do you make it not so go so much into details, but really tell us what is this about, how does it help, and why should people join it? Apparently there was a little bit too much text here as well, and people do get lost, especially developers. Developers are not with the highest, let's say, focus. They're very all over the place. That's what makes them so good. Herman is also suggesting that you emphasize a little bit more about what do you get for free. As a developer, I didn't get why I need it. I think you guys are kind of a hosting company, but you also develop. So that's where you lost me. So you have a little bit of a problem here of kind of explain the value proposition clearer to developers. Let's see some feedback from Fabian. Fabian is saying, again, about the text. He offers you a format of breaking the text. He says, put more visualization. Like instead of only words and sentences, give us more photos, give us more. People connect a lot more to visualize the elements. So I think that could be really good. A little bit more positive layout. I don't understand in design, but maybe it can be more fun. Again, Fabian is saying more or less the same, and you saw this also in the poll question that you asked us to do, Madhav, that the topic is a little bit hard to digest, make the layout stand out, help the presentation build the structure that kind of flows, you know. So representation is a lot of data. Instead of that, if it's structured and it's simple, it's gonna help you on was it clear problem as well. Yes, Khadija is also saying that she agrees to what Vijay said. Why would any company need your platform? That's what Vijay was saying. Like it wasn't clear that much about the value proposition, and Khadija is on that. Khadija would probably focus at least 30 to 40% of the current problem and why a company need your platform, because apparently we might have a problem here about people understanding why should they even try. And of course, it also connects to, was it clear? You know, if it's not clear, it's hard to convince that it's useful. So apparently it could have been structured maybe in a better way. Yes. Hussein is recommending Madhav to always in your, like in order to create more professional approach, to have your email with your domain, you know, especially if you're offering services to clients, the Gmail is a little bit of a turnoff. He's relatively right, it's true. Good. So I'm going to skip the technical stuff, but I do recommend you might have to copy paste all of it because some of it is. Richard is saying that I'm also a developer, so maybe I understand the terms more than normal people, but I don't understand why I would host with you rather than on the cloud. So apparently you have a problem here that people did not really understand the value proposition. VO, again, very technical, but are you trying to be the IKEA of API services where app developers would use your service and building blocks of app? So again, there is a little bit unclarity about what you're building here. And yeah, I think that, you know, again, you have another developer, M. Rufa, that is saying, I'm a developer, but could not get why I would use it. Your company kind of hosts stuff and provide common APIs. It wasn't that clear. So I think basically, Madhav, you have a lot of feedback here about people kind of figured out what you do. The developers, they're interested. We're missing kind of the, okay, that's what we do. That's like, why is the current reality much worse without your product, and that was a little bit missing. So I'm pretty sure you can, go back to the drawing board. I would totally copy paste this because you have also the language here that is exactly the plain language of what you need, and then basically, redo it, and again, come back in a few months and give it another go. So it's great. Thanks for saving you and Anatoly saved the event. We didn't have enough people pitching, so it's absolutely great. Amazing. So Matcha, thanks a lot, and good luck. Keep building. That's the most important thing. Okay.
Thank you all. Please get in touch if you are interested to know further or discuss further. We can have a discussion.
You can write your email in the chat, but change it to all panelists or not at this, so everyone can get it. Excellent. So thanks, Matcha.
Thank you.
Amazing. So we're pretty much we're done. We're just need to figure out who won. We're actually ahead of time, so I'm happy about that. This should usually, is for 1 hour. Before we do the, no, let's do it now. Let's do the vote. So I'm gonna allow everyone the opportunity to vote who won. We have Anatoly, we have Matcha. As far as I'm concerned, they both won because they were brave enough to pitch. But let's hear what you're thinking. I'm not going to share the results, by the way. I'm just going to declare the winner based on that. And let me also, as we're pitching, voting, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to remind you about all the links that I shared with you in the beginning. And one of them is you're going to see pitching.startuplink.com. If you enjoyed it and if you think that you learned something or you want to help others, continue helping others like you helped Anatoly and Matcha today, this is the third link, pitching.startuplink.com. So if you want to register next week, please do, because registering for this week will not send you an email next week, and you have all the deals that I mentioned as well. Let's give 5 more seconds before we declare the winner. Good. Anatoly, you're a clear winner, I have to say. Matcha, again, thanks for pitching. Anatoly, you were a little bit more clear here, and you got the pitch of the week. That's great. So yeah, Anatoly, Matcha, thanks again for pitching. Everyone, thanks so much for helping. I have a feeling that Anatoly and Matcha got so much feedback here that they can totally get their presentation to the next level. So they're both winners because they won the big prize of feedback, which we don't get usually. So that's great. Super. Everyone, enjoy your week. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. And see you next week. Have a good one. Bye. Bye-bye.